Most people think hiking is just a leisurely lower body activity, but most people are wrong because hiking is a full body sport. And if you're not training all the muscles that carry you from the trailhead to the summit, you're not just leaving performance on the table, but you're leaving enjoyment as well. In this video, I'm breaking down every muscle that matters for hiking from head to toe and give you the best exercises to strengthen each one. And stick around to the end of the video because I'm going to reveal the most important thing to train for success out on the hiking trails. If you're new here, my name's James Appleton. I'm a licensed guide and a strength coach and founder of 46 Outdoors Company, and I help hikers build strength and fitness for the backcountry so they can hike longer, feel stronger when they're out there, and ultimately enjoy the trail instead of just surviving it. Now let's break down the key muscles that hikers actually need and how to train them. But before we do that, click that like and subscribe button so you don't miss any more videos. We're gonna start with the wheels. Yes, the things that power you up the mountain. Let's start at the bottom. We're starting with your calves. What do your calves do? They support you when you're standing. They help move your foot and your ankle and your lower leg. They also help you jump. They help push you forward. They help you rotate your ankle and have strong ankles. That's why they matter so much when you're on the trail. So how to strengthen your calves? You got calf raises, seated or standing. Hold some dumbbells, start doing some calf raises, do tons of them. Single leg calf raises on a stair, holding weight, not holding weight. You can't really go wrong. Another exercise I really enjoy is the toe walking farmer carry, meaning pick up something heavy and walk on your toes. Exaggerate it, really feel those calves working. And then when you're really ready to get those calves strong, do things like jump squats, jump ropes, jumping lunges, high knees, things that cause you to jump. Because again, that's what the calf is for. The calf forces you to jump, which is something we do a lot when we're out on the trail. Moving up your leg, let's talk about your quads. Yeah, that meaty, big muscle on the front of your leg. What do your quads do? They extend your leg and they stabilize your knee. Now, why do your quads matter? Well, every time you step on the trail, every time you climb up, your quads are pretty much doing the heavy lifting at that point. Very important to have strong quads. Strong quads are going to help you have strong knees. How many of you have knee problems when you're out there? It's probably because your quads are super weak and we need to strengthen those quads. So how to do that? Squats. Every variation. You cannot go wrong with any kind of squat. And let's be honest, squats tend to solve most problems that people have. And then you got step ups, you got lunges, you got the leg press machine, in particular with your feet low on the platform when you're doing a leg press so that you really hammer the quads. And then your good old fashioned leg extension machine for those of you who train at a gym. Now, if you're thinking, hey, James, I can't do those things because I have bad knees. Let me offer you a new perspective. Maybe you have bad knees because you're not doing the things that strengthen your knees. Something to think about. Now moving to the back of the leg, let's talk about your hamstrings. What do your hamstrings do? They bend the knee and they straighten your leg back at the hip. Why does this matter? Well, your hamstrings let you climb, run, and ultimately hike. And strong hamstrings, just like strong quads, are going to help your knees stay strong and healthy. How to strengthen your hamstrings? We're talking deadlifts, all variations, barbell, trap bar, Romanian deadlifts with dumbbells, stiff leg deadlifts. Fantastic movements to hammer your hamstrings. Then other exercises like your glute bridges, split squats, good mornings, kettlebell swings. All of these things are going to keep those hamstrings strong, which will keep your knees strong. Moving up, we got your glutes. We're talking about your butt. What do your glutes do? Well, they keep you upright, they move you forward, and they stabilize your hips and spine. Pretty important for when you're out there hiking. Your glutes serve as the power muscle when you're out there on the trail and in life, and they also act as a shock absorber. Plus, who doesn't really want to have a good butt? So how do you strengthen those glutes? Squats, lunges, deadlifts. I hope you're seeing a trend here. Hip thrusters, glute bridges, kickbacks, step-ups, clamshells, lateral band walks, all sorts of these exercises are going to make your glutes strong, and a strong glute is going to lead to a strong back and a strong body all together. Next, we've got your adductors and your abductors. What do? They're the muscles on the inside and outside of your quad. They move your legs in and out, and they also help to stabilize your pelvis. Why do your adductors and your abductors matter? Well, weak hips mean collapsed knees, which means pain. You're not moving properly. So having strong adductors and abductors, very important. How to strengthen them? We're talking squats, we're talking side lunges, clamshells, wide stance squats and deadlifts, sumo deadlifts, side planks, band walks, adduction and abduction machines at the gym. All sorts of ways to strengthen those muscles. They're often forgotten about, but they will be a really big thing to have strong when you're out on the trail. Moving up the body, let's talk about your core. What is your core? Yes, I recognize that's not a muscle, but it's a group of muscles. But for our sake, we'll call your midsection your core. Your core is stabilizing your spine and transfers forces throughout your body. Your core matters because it's what's connecting your back, which holds your backpack, to your legs, which do most of the hiking. So how do we make that core strong? My personal favorites, you guessed it, squats and deadlifts. They force your core to stabilize like no other, and that's what the core's job is. Other exercises I'm a big fan of, planks, front planks, side planks, however you want to do them. Russian twists, dead bugs, and one of my personal favorites of all time, the weighted carry. Pick up something heavy and carry it. Your core is forced to stabilize. Farmer's carries, sandbag carries, it doesn't make a difference. Just pick it up, start walking, and watch your core do what it's supposed to do. Speaking of fully loaded backpacks, let's move on to your upper back. What does your upper back do? Well, it supports the backpack that you're wearing, but it's going to support your spine. It's connecting your body. It is your trunk, right? That is ultimately what we need to have strong. A strong back is necessary for life. A weak back is going to make your posture terrible, and bad posture out on the trail, step after step, mile after mile. You know how that story ends. It's going to lead to a miserable hike. So how to get your upper back strong and your back in general strong, other than deadlifts and squats, which you already knew about. We're talking rows, dumbbells, barbells, band rows, pull-ups, lat pull-downs, shrugs. And once again, the farmer's carry, such an important movement to get your upper back strong. Now, as we continue along the upper body, let's talk about shoulders. What are your shoulders doing? Well, they're moving and stabilizing your arms. Why do they matter? Well, for starters, your backpack is going to sit on your shoulder, your straps, right? Sitting on your trap muscles. So having strong shoulders, absolutely important for life, both on the trail and at home, but especially out on the trail because you're out in the backcountry. How to get those strong? We're talking overhead press, lateral raises, face pulls, shrugs, external rotations, upright rows, push-ups, things that are going to strengthen your whole shoulder. Now let's move to the front of your upper body and the muscles that most hikers forget. We're talking about your pectorals, aka your chest. What do your pecs do? Well, they stabilize your shoulders and they support your arm movement. Why does your chest matter for hikers? You use your chest when you're descending with trekking poles and you're lifting your pack up. You're catching yourself when you trip and fall. You're pushing yourself up off the ground when you get down to climb under some blowdown and get back up. And ultimately, your chest comes into play way more than you realize. How to get your chest strong? You know it. The push-up, the bench press, chest flies, dips. All of these things that many of you probably avoid at the gym, but it's time to pick up a barbell and start bench pressing. Now let's talk about your arms. What do? You're always using them. Lifting your pack, holding yourself up, using trekking poles, pulling yourself up things, pushing yourself down things, grabbing hold. Some exercises to strengthen those arms. We're talking bicep curls of any kind, tricep extensions, pull-ups, dips, bench press, wrist curls and extensions to get your forearms nice and strong and to have strong wrists because, again, you trip and fall. You don't really want to have a broken wrist when you're out there. And then things like farmer's carries and bar hangs. These are all things that were going to help you become a successful hiker. And now the muscle that we hope never quits when we're in the backcountry, your heart. What's it doing? It's pumping blood and oxygen. It's keeping you alive. It's powering your muscles. It's pretty damn important. A strong heart means faster recovery, more endurance, and less likelihood of crashing and bonking when you're out there. Make sure you train your heart the same way you're training your quads or the same way you're training your core or your back. Your heart is the endurance muscle that you're going to train, and it's important as hikers to make sure you're training it. How to train it: hiking, rucking, cardio of any kind, lifting of any kind, circuit work of any kind. Anytime you're pushing yourself in the gym, you are also training your heart. And that is why here at 46 Outdoors, I recommend training your heart in a way that also strengthens your muscles and your joints at the same time, like lifting weights, and lifting weights in a way that trains your heart at the same time. And let's not forget, you also need to strengthen your heart with a healthy diet that supports your heart. And finally, the most important muscle for success in the backcountry, I'm talking about your brain. Yep, we've gone from your calves all the way up to your brain. What does your brain do? It helps you to keep going when things get hard. It's where grit comes from, mental toughness, and the resilience that you are going to need anytime you head out into the backcountry, especially when you're doing a long distance trip. Your brain matters because the most fulfilling hikes are usually the hard ones. They're when your muscles are tapped out and your brain decides you're not going to quit. You're going to keep going. You want to turn around, but you just keep pushing forward because at any moment, you can just turn yourself around and head back down the mountain when it gets hard, but it's your brain that says, no, one more step. Let me keep going. It is so important, and if you overlook it, I guarantee you're not going to be as successful in the trail as you want to be. Now, how to train your brain to get stronger? This is my specialty. Train on the days you don't want to. Show up even when you don't feel like training. Oh, you're not feeling well? Good. Go train anyways and see what you're made of. Keep showing up. Do hard things on purpose. Remember, when you sign in at the trail register, you are voluntarily choosing to do hard things that day. Nobody's making you go hiking and go out into the bug-infested backcountry. The more often you train your mindset and you get your brain strong and used to showing up, even when things are going to be hard, even when you don't quite feel like it, the easier the challenge becomes. And then when you're out in the woods and you have no choice but to keep going, you've already done the reps to train your brain to keep pushing forward even when it gets hard. Now, if this video helped you realize how much more there is to training for hiking, then let me help you take the very next step. My coaching programs are built specifically for hikers who want to get stronger, feel better, and enjoy their time on the trail more, but they also want to be just as strong in everyday life too. Now, that's not just physical, but that's mental strength as well. So if you want to become the strongest version of yourself on and off the trail, book a call with me below and we'll make sure we get you on the right path for you so that you can become the strongest version of yourself out in the mountains and in your life. Click that like and subscribe button. I'll see you in the next video.